Welcome to Mysteries, Myths, and Legends. I'm Taylor.
I'm Savannah.
And happy Wednesday, everybody. Guys, in case you haven't heard the news, we did in fact pick a giveaway winner. I know we're late, blah, blah, blah. Don't even get on me. I know. But obviously, I still wanted to give them a shout out. So, shout out to Velma _9379 who won the giveaway. So, winner, chicken dinner. I know we're late. Sorry about that, but still. Yeah, just keep your eyes out on Instagram. You never know when we may pop up and do another one.
Yeah, because we're playing and we got something.
We do. We got some things cooking back here in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Speaking of kitchen, Savannah, what did we do? Tell the people what we just did recently.
We went to the Cheesecake Factory.
We did, in fact.
You said, speaking of cooking.
Yes.
And then we went and saw Nosferatu. Oh, my God. It was... Listen. There's a lot to say about this one. A lot and also nothing at all.
You're so right.
Because it was like... I loved, like, the
vibe and aesthetic.
Yes, the aesthetic and everything. Like,
10
how
out
it
of 10.
looked. They're, like... Yeah, just everything about that.
I would say all of their performances, also 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
But the storyline?
It was so slow.
The plot?
And it's like, okay, maybe we need to, like, watch the original one and then watch this again or something. I don't know.
I don't want to watch the original one. But I do want to rewatch
You don't?
the new one, like, not in theater once it comes out. And I feel like I would appreciate it more.
But I did. Okay, Taylor, this might change your mind because I saw a clip from the original Nosferatu and he, like, runs around carrying around his coffin. And people think that's... Apparently, everybody was, like, looking forward to him doing that in the new one. But
well,
his
that
coffin
thing was way too big.
Yeah, it was way too big and it was, like, made of concrete.
Yeah.
But... Yeah.
Okay, I'll watch it then. We can watch it. That could be our next movie. Of that.
No, there was, like, I don't know.
No, that's funny.
Yeah.
It is funny. I would have loved to seen him do it in this new movie with his probably 1 ton
it was just like
coffin.
I mean, I guess I haven't seen the other one, but it seemed like the vibe was a little bit different. Like, it was more drama to it.
There was a lot of drama for sure. Yeah. There was some drama. There was some trauma.
Yes.
There's a scene I'll never forget from that movie.
My God.
Oh my God. I don't want to.
There are many scenes that will, like, that are seared into my brain because what?
Me too, because what? But also, I feel like even though we are hating on, like, the slowness, like, I feel like the fact that it's sticking with us means it, like, kind of is a good movie. Like, maybe. We kind of can't stop talking about it.
I keep seeing, like, clips of it on TikTok. Oh my God. I can't even talk about TikTok because it's going to be gone soon.
Stop. No, wait. I have good news. Good news.
I don't know if that news is true, Taylor, because...
Why?
Okay, you just say your news first.
My news is that Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank is looking into buying it for himself.
Okay, but my news is that supposedly he can't buy it under Chinese law.
Kevin?
He has to be Chinese to buy it.
Kevin. Okay.
I don't know if that's true, but that's what I heard someone say.
I need Kevin. Okay.
I don't know if it's true, but...
Well, we have to talk about TikTok while she's still alive.
I know. Like, I'm scared.
It's fine. We're going to create the next app.
I keep seeing everything Nosferatu on there. And I don't know. Okay. Also, just not even having to do with the movie... There was somebody in the theater sitting right next to Taylor.
Guys, hold on. We need to preface this, Savannah. We need to preface this. This was not a sold-out movie. I will say, to the right of Garrett and Savannah, the entire row was full of people.
Yeah.
But to the left of me, there was not a single other person other than one man who was sitting directly beside me.
Yeah. And I just looked over. He was sitting, like, on the edge of his seat.
Like
these are the recliner seats, right?
Was hard. I honestly think he might have been doing a squat and not even sitting in the seat. That's how far up he was.
He was on the edge of his seat, like, really, really into the movie.
And
He kept like laughing at the most like times where nobody else was
Like
laughing.
it was
like kind of creepy, but also like maybe he was just really into Nosferatu. I mean, listen. But it was a little
Listen,
interesting.
I'm just saying the vibes of Nosferatu were so scary that
Yes.
even if this man was just a normal, regular man, I was horrified.
Yeah.
Because I will never forget this, Savannah. One part that he laughed at, I'm going to imitate his laugh too, because and prepare your ears, okay? It was a part of the movie where these two men are literally just walking into a bar. They walk into the bar, and this man's like, and I'm like, me and Savannah just look at each other.
He's sitting directly next to Taylor.
And I'm serious, he was that loud. Savannah, was he not that loud? Like, it was...
Like, I don't know what I would do if I was sat in your seat.
I was
so scared for you.
I was so scared.
I was like, is this man going to do something?
I was so afraid he was going to pull out a knife.
I was so like, is he going to turn into the Joker here?
I was so afraid because the way he was sitting on his seat, the way he was cackling like an evil witch, and the movie itself is horrifying.
Yes.
Like the jump scares, there's so many, it's so scary. And all I want to do, all I'm thinking about is the cheesecake I smuggled into my purse.
Yeah,
and
we smuggled in cheesecake from the Cheesecake Factory.
And I'm like, I want the cheesecake, but I feel like if I get the cheesecake out of my purse, the man will then stab me.
I was thinking the same thing, and then you got it out, and he didn't. But...
And then I got it out, and not only did he not stab me, that's when he moved.
Oh.
Finally. Thank God.
That's why he moved his seat.
He saw that the smuggle of the cheesecake, and he said,
he's like, I'm not sitting
this. Nowhere near these people. And then he moved.
He thought we were the weirdos.
Yeah, he's probably telling this same story, like, these weirdos were laying back in their chairs eating cheesecake.
Oh my God.
But anyway, that was our Nosferatu experience.
Move down seats, which is good,
and he did not move back. I was worried that he was going to move back the whole time. And honestly, that might have been another reason why I couldn't have fully enjoyed the movie.
I think that was part of it for me, too.
I was
because
so
at least
focused on that man not killing me for so long.
It was only, like, the beginning part, like, when he was still sitting right next to you, that I was scared and wasn't really paying attention.
No, I was scared the whole time.
And I think that's why Garrett liked the movie, because
he had no idea.
He was not paying attention at all.
No, that man, he scared me so bad. I couldn't stop. I literally actually didn't even take my eyes off him the whole time. Like, honestly, I can't even rate Nosferatu because I think I was watching that man.
We're going to have to go back.
We have to see it again because I'm traumatized. And I'm traumatized from the movie and from the man. So, yeah. But anyway, speaking of a man, there's only one more thing I need to say.
Oh my God.
And then we can get into our stories, I promise. But the man who gave me life, my father, I must say, happy birthday to you. He's not listening.
He better listen.
He's not going to listen, but I must wish him a happy birthday. He'll be 59 when this episode is out. So the big 5-9, his last 50 year until he's officially, is that what are they called? Senior citizen? When?
Oh, I don't know.
Is it 60 or 65? I'm not sure. It's one of the two.
I don't know.
Well, I hope it's not 60 for his case. No, senior citizens are great. We love them.
Just have to have that in there.
I'm not trying to get canceled for not liking older people, Savannah. Okay.
Well, I'm just not going to have any words.
Okay. Yeah, there we go. And period. And on that note, Savannah, what do you have for us today?
Okay. I have a cryptid story.
Ooh. Savannah loves a good cryptid.
I know.
We all do.
So, I'm going to be talking about the whooping spider.
Oh, does he got the whooping cough?
No.
Hope not.
No. I think it's called whooping because it's like, that's your reaction. Like, he's huge. Like, he's whooping.
Oh, is it a whopping?
Maybe, but it's spelled...
with 2 O's?
Yeah.
Oh, well, then it must be.
But maybe it's whopping, but it's just... I don't know. Which way you think it would be?
Well, I don't know. If he's big, I would imagine whopping, because whopping usually means, like, big.
But then why is there 2 O's?
Well,
like, which way you say it? How do you spell whopping?
I actually don't know. Let me look it up.
I guess maybe I was saying it wrong. No, you might be right.
I don't know.
There was no, like, pronunciation, okay? Like,
No,
I'm sorry.
whopping, very large, is spelled Whopping.
Okay.
I'm looking up the definition of whooping.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, no. Okay, this makes sense, I think. Well, I don't know the story of the spider.
Okay.
But to whoop
Okay.
is to give or make a whoop. Essentially means all at once they're whooping with laughter or whooping with excitement or whooping with any kind of emotion, really.
Interesting.
So, I don't really know what you want me to say.
I don't know if that does make sense, but
okay.
We'll see.
It could also mean to give a loud shout. And that's what Google says. So that's all I got for you.
Okay.
But if he's big, maybe it was just a misspelling and they meant whopping.
Maybe. The big spider, I don't really know. I honestly, listen, like, this cryptid is pretty obscure, which is also, like,
yeah, that makes sense.
Why the name of it is hard to even figure out what they're trying to say, because there's really not much out here on the sky. Like, if we're being so real.
No, some of these cryptids really are really obscure.
Yeah, but it's like I still want to talk about it because it's crazy.
Of course.
Like, what we do know about it is, like, wild.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah, I guess I don't know it all.
So I think we should just call him the whooping spider because that's fine.
Yeah, okay.
Whoop, whoop.
So, also, I do want to say, in a previous episode 90, I did talk about spiders.
Disgusting.
Do you remember?
Of course I do. I don't like spiders, Savannah.
But we talked about how spiders are like how different cultures viewed them and stuff.
Yeah, you tried to change my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, they're okay from afar. I'll always say that.
Yeah. Well, that, like, cultures have different myths surrounding them.
They totally do.
I think there was one that had, like, the web of life or something like that.
Yeah, no, definitely. And Charlotte. Don't ever forget Charlotte.
See, there are some good spiders out there.
No, there are good spiders.
This spider is going to change your mind. Well, it's going to keep your current thought.
Good.
That they're bad.
Well, makes sense.
So this spider, it burrows in the ground instead of in the air. You know, like building a web in the air.
They're flying. Yeah, no, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I don't like burrowing spiders. Them things scare me. Immediately, I'm scared.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're big. So the maximum size of them is unknown, but they are very big. Supposedly, there have been, like, not the spiders themselves, but, like, I guess their carcasses, which is such a horrible word to say, but they have been found, and most of these have been found in the adolescent phase, which was the size of a child's fist.
And those are the babies?
Yeah.
No.
Thank you. Some of their burrows have been found. And they're like these giant burrows that have been found with, like, you look inside of them and it looks like it was a spider because you see, like, web and stuff in there.
Yeah.
And found inside are, like, wrapped up animals.
Yeah. Like in the web.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, examples of these, like, rats.
Oh.
Rabbits.
This is exactly why spiders scare me. Dogs! Don't say
Deer.
human. Deer. Not deer.
And this even said moose.
Moose! Moose!
They're big.
Moose is insane. Where are these spiders at?
Okay, I'm about to tell you.
Okay. Canada?
So, they're basically in like the area with Indiana, Ohio, parts of West Virginia, Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, and, like, into Ontario, Canada.
Okay. I was about to say, am I stupid? Or are there moose in the United States?
Northern parts, I think, probably.
I know that's probably a really stupid question, but I know they're in Canada.
Yeah.
But that's why I was like, if you don't say Canada, I'm about to be so confused.
Yeah, I think the moose has to do with the parts in Ontario.
Okay. I don't like that at all. Because in case you don't know, I may not know a lot about moose, but what I do know is that they are ginormous. So,
Yeah. So you've never seen anything like this because you got it says around West Virginia.
no, honey. If I ever seen anything like that in my life, I would never return. The only thing I have seen similar to that is in Harry Potter. Those real big spiders in that Harry Potter movie. But thank God that was just a movie.
Yeah, I know.
But I did have a big spider once in my house
Oh.
in Wilmington. And it was the size of my hand. And I was...
No way.
No, you don't understand. I might have even told this story on the podcast before when I was living there, when it was going on. It got locked. It was in this sunken room in my house that we didn't really use that much. And we literally tried our hardest to come up with the bravery to suck the spider up with the vacuum wand, because that's we could not obviously smush it. It was way too big. We were not getting that close. So we were like, maybe the vacuum wand is far enough distance. Let me tell you, it was not enough distance.
Oh no.
And we tried for probably 3 hours. We were sobbing, having a mental breakdown, calling everyone we knew.
I would do.
Calling everyone we knew. We're in a city 4 hours from our parents, so it's not like I can call my dad to come get the spider.
Oh, God.
We call all the men we know. They said, we're not coming. Which I can't even blame them.
Damn.
I cannot blame them. I wouldn't want to do that either. So what we had to do was we had to duct tape the door and just pray that the spider wasn't going to go through any of the vents. And leave it in there until eventually my roommate's boyfriend came and he killed it a couple days later. And thank God when he got there, the spider was still in that room.
Oh my God.
So, fun story. It was the size of my hand. Literally, I have pictures of it. Its body was probably the size of my palm.
I remember you telling me the story, and then right after that happened, I stayed in that room.
Yeah, you sure did. But it's okay. We used spider killer. We never saw another one in there. We would literally go around, it's probably so bad, the chemicals that I was breathing in, but we would go and just spray.
Well, I breathed them in too, I guess.
Yeah, girl. I don't care. I'll take the chemicals to not have the spiders and the rats.
I mean, you're right.
Anyway, back to this big spider. This other real big spider.
This big spider. So, I'm guessing that they come out at night because there's no one has really seen them. And I wasn't able to find any good stories of sightings of these. So they're pretty mysterious.
Well, I mean, do people survive them? If moose don't even survive them.
God, you're right.
If the moose is getting tied up in the silk, I feel as if a person would.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even think of that. Oh my God. So, okay. The next thing I have here is a question for you. How likely is it that these things are real?
I mean, it's big spiders.
So we don't know for sure, but
I mean, here's the thing. I feel like it's very real. Because look at the spiders in Australia.
I know.
They're big.
But this is North America.
That's what makes me question. But there's a lot of woods. And here's the other thing. The area is the top of the Appalachian Mountains where you mentioned. So I'm
anything out there.
Anything out there is possible. So
I know.
I say yes.
So I do have some references to see if we can sort of judge if we think this could be real. So the biggest spider on Earth, right?
Okay.
The documented biggest spider, because this one might beat it if it's real.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
The cryptid might beat the biggest spider.
Yeah.
So the documented largest spider in the world is called the Goliath bird eater.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
And it's named that because it's big enough to eat a bird.
Oh my God. I just felt like there was a spider on me, but it was a hair. You're freaking me out, Savannah. You're freaking me out so bad.
I'm sorry. It is in the tarantula family.
And
it's found in South America.
That's too close to me.
It's pretty far. And some stats here. It's 175 grams on average, or 6.2 ounces. So that's the size of a small baby.
Oh, no.
Baby size. Oh my God, right? Or no, I'm wrong about that. That's pounds.
That's pounds.
Dumb. Okay, so no.
No,
back
but like,
up, back up.
it's still like spiders like essentially don't weigh anything, you know?
Yeah. No,
like
you're right.
if you were
You're
to
right.
pick up even like I've
That's
held a
true.
tarantula and it's like a feather.
Yeah, so, and this is 6 ounces.
I'm sickened.
And it's the length. How many inches do you think?
I'm scared, Savannah. I don't even know. I don't
5
know.
inches on average is like the body.
Oh no! I thought you meant with the legs. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. No. I'm almost about to gag. That's how much I don't like spiders.
5 inches or 13 centimeters. So yeah, big spiders like this really do exist, but not really in the area where this cryptid is supposed to be.
Yeah.
So, like in a list I saw of the top 10 largest spiders, they're mostly in the southern hemisphere. And if they're not in the southern hemisphere, then like none of them are in North America. So like likelihood like that it would be, you know, I don't know. Someone thought that it looked like a cryptid, like a giant spider.
Yeah.
And it was really one of these, like one of the world's largest spiders. Like it's not likely because they're not
Even
native.
close. Yeah.
But also, I guess, what if somebody had as a pet and it got let out? I don't know.
Okay, the pet theory is a good theory. Also, I'm pretty positive there are other animals that make silk.
True.
So, like, could it...
Yeah.
Because essentially we're basing the evidence, since nobody's really seen the spider, on the fact that it's a big hole with some silk.
Yeah, the
right?
burrow, and also some people say they found the carcasses. Of them. So it's like,
okay,
you can see it. But...
That's true. Well, okay. Ew. Ew.
Okay, also I want to talk about burrowing spiders, which you hate.
Okay, great.
I know. Last week you hated the episode, and this week you hate it too.
I'm actually no, this is so much worse.
I'm sorry. So, burrowing spiders, a lot of them live in more like deserty areas. So like they're sand dwelling. But there are some that are in like soily areas, like wolf spiders will dig in the ground.
I hate a wolf spider.
And these spiders tend to be pretty large, but still not as large as the whooping spider. So, I don't know.
I'm finding the size of the whooping spider to be a little bit maybe exaggerated.
Maybe. I know, like, could it eat a whole moose? A moose?
I don't
like,
think really, like, what could even eat a moose?
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
But yeah, just imagine, like, coming face to face with one of these things if it was real.
No, I'm not imagining that.
I feel like I could believe that it exists just because of what you were saying before, though, too. Like, just the area, the Appalachians, and they're so, like, the Appalachian area is just very mysterious.
It is. There's a lot of unknowns.
There's a lot of unknowns, a lot of cryptid sightings.
Yeah.
So, like, maybe it is out there.
I mean, that's exactly why we say, like, all cryptids come from West Virginia, because it's the Appalachian Mountains.
Yeah.
Like, there's a reason.
And that's, like, the one state, I feel like, out of all the Appalachian states that is, like, almost has, like, the least amount of city. Yeah. So it's, like, the most amount of...
cryptids. It makes sense.
The most amount of, like, undeveloped land for them to live on.
Exactly. It makes complete sense why they would be there. That's, like, their dream. They won't be seen.
I mean, and if you want to counter that, it's also because, like, maybe people are more likely to see it if they're just out in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. No, definitely. They're like, oh my god, it's a cryptid, and maybe it was just the animal, but...
Because there are a lot of animals out there.
So, yeah, and also, I'm not sure about, like, the venomous, non-venomous, but I'm guessing, like... I wouldn't take my chances with this. Like, I feel like it could be venomous.
If it had the most locked up,
I know,
it's gonna eat it. Like, if the venom is there.
Yeah. All I'm gonna say is, if you see a hole in the ground that looks like a burrow like this, like, stay away.
Let me tell you what.
Could be a big spider.
I don't like any holes in grounds.
I know.
And, like, none. Snake holes, spider holes,
Yellow
honestly,
jackets.
Yep. There's no good holes. The only good holes are rabbit holes. And unfortunately, all the other holes are bad. So rabbit holes got to be considered bad too. Because you don't know that there's a rabbit in there.
Yeah.
It could be this freaking whooping spider.
Yeah.
Not for me, Savannah.
Wait, you just made me think, like, what if the spider just took the rabbit's hole?
Oh my God. It maybe did.
And
Or the
took
moose's hole.
Right.
But seriously though, like, it could have taken the rabbit's hole and just made it bigger.
Yeah.
Hey, that's horrible. For real.
But yeah, that's the whooping spider.
Listen, I hated every single second of that. No, I did enjoy the story. I like being creeped out, but I really hate spiders. I have a lot of trauma with spiders.
I know. I saw this. I was like, I have to do this spider one because it's creepy. Yeah, I just wish there was more on it. But sometimes you just gotta take what you got.
Yeah. No, seriously. You never know, like, the length of these stories. Like, when you look them up, you just find, like, oh, it's a cool topic.
Sometimes they're so mysterious that, like, some people just don't even
exactly.
have
I mean, these
it.
are mysteries. After all, we don't have all the answers. And then sometimes, like me, you find a cool subject, and then it's just very, very deep hole, very long, dark, crazy hole. And that is what I have for you today. A long, dark, crazy hole. So I have for you the mystery of the Gary Sudbrink tapes.
Oh, wait. That sounds creepy.
It is. It is. So I had actually never heard of this story before. But honey, when I looked into it, I said, yep, this one, I'm telling it. And it was actually suggested to us by a follower. Shout out A-Train.
Okay.
It's the intro. All I can say, you just got to buckle up. Buckle up for a wild ride because there's no introing this topic.
Okay.
So it's 1993, not too long ago. So it's a recent mystery. So that makes this all the more crazy.
Not too long ago, but like older than us.
Barely older than us, Savannah.
You're right.
Barely 3 years older than you. This happened. So, specifically February 8th, 1993, a 27-year-old Gary Sudbrink was at his parents' house in Long Island, New York. Okay, so I know that's a lot. We got Gary. He's 27. He's my age. Okay, hate that for me. We're in Long Island. Apologize for my accent. I just had to say it like that at least once. But Gary actually lived in San Antonio, Texas at the time.
Oh.
But he was coming home to visit with his family.
Right.
Yeah. And actually, Gary decided that he was going to plan this entire thing and surprise his family and not tell anybody that he was going.
Oh.
So his plan, he was just like, I'm going to show up to New York and shock everybody. And I just want to say...
Oh,
go ahead.
He's doing like one of those TikToks where the girlfriend shows up
and her boyfriend's with another girl. Yeah, that's exactly what happens, but it's his parents.
They have another son that they never told him about.
Yeah. Oh my God. No, that's so funny. That's exactly what happened, actually. How'd you know?
What?
No. He went home and his family was so happy to see him.
Okay, yeah.
But I was just going to say, personally, don't ever do that to me. Don't ever show up to my house. Maybe if I have children one day, that would be a different story.
Actually, I've had that happen to me. Garrett showed up randomly in my dorm in college. You remember that?
When he didn't live there?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I forgot about that. I completely
I've
forgot
had that
about
happen,
that.
but I kind of knew before, so I wasn't as shocked. But like that is like
Listen.
He also hid in my room and scared me.
Did I help him with that?
I think so. Yeah.
I do remember that. No, I was like, I don't know if this is a good idea, and he was like, we got to do it, and I was like, okay.
What, him hiding in my closet?
Yes, because I had to close the door. Because we didn't have big closets back then. Wow, that really unlocked a memory for me.
But yeah, honestly, I do agree. Do not do
that. No, yeah, it's not. I'm not about that. But I'm glad that
I guess it is fun at the time, but it's also like
That's
anxiety.
stressful. Yeah.
As the person doing it, like, that would make me so anxious.
Same. And as the people who it's getting done to, that gives me anxiety. Because what if my house is dirty? What if, I mean, there's a lot of things. You know, what if I have plans? Anyway, I'm just saying, please don't do that to me. You can just text me. Be like, I'm on the way.
Right, yeah.
Anyway, but Gary gets there, surprises them. They're very excited to see him. And this first weekend was, very normal, their typical family fun. But almost immediately after that first weekend, things started going sideways.
Oh, no.
So, Monday, February 8th, Gary decided to call one of his old friends. His name was Mike. And he was like, yo, man, let's hang out while I'm in town. Because, Mike still lived in Long Island. Mm-hmm. And during the call, Mike was like, yo, Gary, my man. Yeah, let's totally meet up. But, bro, we had this conversation yesterday.
Wait, what?
And, yeah. And so he was like, so Gary's like silent. He's like, so Mike was like, were you just like confirming, or did you forget, or like, were you drunk, or like, what's going on?
Right, yeah.
And Gary was like, well, I most definitely did not have a conversation with you yesterday. And Gary was confused. He was like, surely he would remember. Like, and he was like, not like drinking. Like, he wasn't like inebriated in any way.
See, this is like me.
This is just a man.
No, I was going to say me with watching Hamilton. So, how you say we've talked about this on the show before. How
I know.
We've watched Hamilton together, and I do not recall it at all. It's like that.
It's like that, but the problem is these are the only two who can corroborate it. I have multiple people who can corroborate that you were there watching Hamilton for me. Oh my gosh. I'm going to have to make you watch Hamilton again just so that you will have watched Hamilton.
Yeah.
Anyways, so
and then I'm gonna watch it, and then you're gonna still forget. No, I was gonna say it'll all come back to me.
You'll start singing the songs.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm gonna be like, Savannah, I thought you said you never watched this before. Oh, that's so funny. But so yeah, I mean, Gary, he was like, surely I would remember the conversation. I'm 27. I mean, like, I'm 27. Yeah. I forget things, but I wouldn't forget if I had a conversation planning up to meet with my friends the next day. Like. So, Gary was like, okay, Mike, be so for real. You're playing with me, right? Like, obviously it's a joke. And Mike was like, listen, I'm being so serious. It was literally either you or somebody that sounded exactly like you. They said, yo, it's Gary. They claimed to have flown in through LaGuardia Airport. And the other Gary, the original Gary, he also said that he was getting over a cold. Oh. But in reality, real Gary had flown through JFK Airport and was in good health.
Wait, what?
So it's like, these are not the same conversation, actually.
Alternate reality Gary.
Alternate reality Gary, maybe. So Gary's like, okay, well, that's weird. But regardless, let's just still plan to hang out tomorrow. Like, whatever. And they're like, yeah, totally.
Yeah, so, honestly, I guess I would just dismiss it,
like,
too.
Whatever.
It's like, what?
Whatever. Because I really feel like Gary was like, Mike is literally pranking me. I would think, if you said this to me, I would maybe believe you, but at first, I would think that you were pranking me.
Yeah, I'd be like, that's really weird. Like, okay. But I'm just going to drop it.
Yeah, I'd be like, or maybe I took a nap and, like, phone called him, you know? Something. I don't know. But, anyway, they carry about their day. And it is, I lost my spot so bad. Okay, so they end the call, and immediately when they end the call, another call comes through on Gary's phone.
Oh, okay.
Okay, it's 10:30 p.m. Let's just remember that. There's just so much to say. So this is a 2-minute, 17-second phone call, okay? And it is an unknown caller. So Gary's like, hello. And the voice, basically, he says it sounds like it's being altered or like it's a machine talking.
Oh.
But the unknown caller is basically saying, when are you going back to Texas? Now, remember, Gary lives in Texas. He's just in Long Island.
Yeah.
For to visit his family.
Oh,
And
that's creepy.
this caller asks him about his plans to go back to Texas probably like 10 times over and over and over again. And then, during the call, there's mention of a man named Steven. Fun fact, Gary's older brother is named Steven. So at this point, Gary is thinking, okay, this is Steven pranking me. Like, Steven and Mike are together on this little prank because they, he had been there all weekend.
Everyone's pranking him.
I mean, would you not?
I guess.
Because, he's there visiting his family. He hasn't seen him in a while. At this point, maybe I would still think it's a prank.
Yeah.
But the weird thing is, Gary was like, the thing is, even though I do kind of still think it's a prank, Steven was never really, a prankster or, a joking type guy. So, yeah. But what's interesting is this phone call, actually, Gary hit record on the answering machine. And so this is called the Gary Sudbrink tapes because they are recorded phone calls. But the problem is they're so long and they're so hard to hear. I just thought I would tell you what they say. You can, if you want to listen to them for yourself, you can go find them. But it's just, it would not be worth listening to all of that. So I will give you the highlights. But anyway, so whatever. The phone call ends. It's still essentially just going over, is this Gary? When are you going back to Texas? Something about Steven, over and over and over again. And then eventually it stops. They hang up and they're like, whatever. That was stupid and weird. Good prank, whoever that was. Good job. And they continue their evening. So that was at 10:30. Then, 30 minutes later, at 11 p.m., the phone rings again. And this time, Gary immediately hits record because he's like, okay, it's got to be the same person, right? Which this time, really shout out to Gary for having the evidence too, for all of this, because it would be a lot, less believable. But this time, the call is much harder to hear because the caller is speaking, at a really low volume, ASMR level. Or, maybe that he's, far away from the phone. But, again, he's asking, is this Gary Sudbrink? When are you going back to Texas? All the same stuff as before. And Gary, in a very angry voice, said, who is this?
Yeah.
Finally. Gary, why didn't you ask that the first time? But then the low, mechanical-sounding voice said, keep an eye on the skies, near Orion, the full moon.
What? That's so cryptic and what?
I know. So the caller actually repeats this phrase 4 times. And I need you to know, at this point in time, Gary's entire family is sitting around the phone. They're all listening in. They're
my God.
What's going on? We need to know. They all know the situation.
Oh my God.
And Gary's dad actually is a big alien believer.
Oh.
And so his brain, he said, oh my God, Orion, this is aliens talking to us, Gary.
I don't know.
Gary's dad, maybe you're onto something.
Maybe he's right.
Maybe he's
talking about space. The sky.
Right. So Gary's dad, he's like, okay, Gary, put me in, coach. Put me in. Let me ask the questions.
Okay.
I know about aliens.
Right.
So apparently when Gary's dad is talking to the caller is even more quiet than he was with Gary, but he keeps repeating the same things. Is this Gary Sudbrink? When are you going back to Texas? Blah, 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 blah. Gary's dad starts asking them, are you intergalactic beings? Because, of course,
oh my God,
at the time, that's definitely the term that they would use.
Right. Yeah.
If they were aliens, I feel like they'd just be like, wait, what the heck did you just call me? But they did not answer. They just kept repeating the same questions. And eventually the call ends. And at this point, everybody's so confused. But they're just like,
I would be what is
But what
this?
can they do about it? It's just a phone call.
Okay, what if he does answer the questions? What would they say?
He is answering. He's like, yes, this is Gary.
Oh.
And they're like, when are you going back to Texas? And he's like, oh, well, I don't know. Because he didn't know. He was just going to stay until he was like, at some point, And then he was like, who is this?
Someone's waiting for him in Texas.
Maybe. But that call was...
Okay.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
What if they're in his apartment or wherever in Texas, the aliens?
Okay.
And they're like, when are you coming back? So they know when to leave.
Right. They're trying to clean up the party.
Yeah.
That's a really... That...
They're like, just call him.
That's really funny. Now I'm like... Gary didn't have kids, I'm pretty sure. But I'm like, what if he had kids? And they were just like, that was this.
Like,
no,
yeah.
he doesn't. No, he doesn't. But that would be funny. A funny way to try to get around that. But anyway, that last call was at 11:30 p.m. 11 p.m. And at 11:38 p.m., we get the final call of the night.
Oh, God. Of the night?
Oh. It's the exact same stuff as before, ended the exact same. But the next day would prove to be even stranger. So the whole day time, morning, afternoon, normal. No phone calls, nothing. They went about their day. Then, 10:30 p.m., February 9th. The phone rang again. And at first, the caller, once again, saying, is this Gary Sudbrink? When are you going back to Texas? I'm like, God, bro, get the message.
Right.
He's not, like, he already said yes, and he doesn't know.
Yeah.
Like, how many times are you going to ask? But then, the call takes a turn. A big turn, honey. The caller says, we come to be within this planet. This planet, we come to be within this planet. To visit the many, to be contacted as the same we have with you. Like, girl, what are you talking about? So then Gary's dad's like, okay, hold on. Put me in. Because now they're talking to me. You know, he's like, now it's really aliens.
Right.
And so he starts asking them questions related to them being aliens. Like, okay, where are you from? How did you get in contact with us? Like, how'd you get our number? Blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, why'd you pick
Probably
us?
The phone book. I don't know.
Like, I don't know. We just dialed random numbers on the phone. But the response from the caller was, beware government interference. Beware government interference.
What?
Visitations to be disrupted by them. And then in the background, you can hear like background noise as if something's going on. And their final words were, appears the sun will rise on the dark side of the moon. The world will know on the moon should be double of you. Beware government interference. Visitation to be disrupted by them.
What?
I know that was a lot. But girl, if that don't sound like an alien to me,
it does.
I don't know what it is.
It does.
I don't know what it is. Now, I do want to say, I feel like 1993 might have been a popular time for prank calls. But also, like, they have to know stuff about this man who does not live there, who lives essentially across the country. Mm-hmm. So, you know, it's weird. It's weird. But, and I'm sure all of you are thinking, okay, Taylor, like, it's got to be a prank. And I mean, I definitely agree. But, the reason that kind of takes me back to maybe it's not a prank is that very first night when Gary was calling Mike.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Mike, he hasn't played any other part in the story. It's kind of like, what would he even get out of it at this point? And if it was a prank, wouldn't he be like, haha, I got you?
Right.
Like, at some point, the pranks has to end. So.
Also, I don't get if this was. Okay. If we're going with that, it's aliens, right?
Yeah.
These aliens seem to know that he's from Texas. He lives in Texas and stuff.
Yeah.
How do they not know what airport he came from? Because they told his friend he went to the different one.
Well, maybe they just guessed.
I guess.
You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe they had like the basics, like his name and his address, but maybe they didn't like have his flight information. And just they were like, well, I feel like everybody flies to LaGuardia. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I really don't know. But,
I guess, and it was like 1993.
Yeah.
So flights was probably not.
Oh,
as,
flight
like,
stuff,
secure
girl.
And, like,
flight stuff not secure at all. No locks, no keys. Anybody can fly anywhere. 1993.
Yeah, without your name on your ticket. So it's like.
I think you could maybe just walk into the airport and get on the plane.
Right. So I'm like nowadays,
low-key.
like I'm pretty sure you can look up.
Oh, you can look up any flight. Yep.
Or maybe not.
You can absolutely. Oh, well, that's the Manifest is what that's called. Shout out to that show. I don't know if they're all public knowledge, but they definitely have them.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And any hacker could get that information. Yeah. So, I'm just saying, like, if they're already able to, like, get in.
Saying, like, then I feel like maybe that's why they didn't have that.
But. Oh, yeah. No, exactly. But today. So, yeah. No, you're right. But things do get a little bit more weird.
Even weirder.
Yeah.
This is weird.
What? I know, dude. I told you it's a really crazy story.
Also, this would not even happen nowadays because you see a random caller, you're not answering. Mm-mm. I'm not. Like, what? I see a blocked number. I'm not answering a random number.
Maybe the aliens are trying to reach us about our extended warranty and we're just ignoring them.
I get a lot of calls from the blood donate blood.
The blood bank. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get a lot of
never donated
calls.
blood, but somehow they get me.
Well, I used to, and then I became, or just they found out I was anemic, so I can't. So then they stopped calling me. I get calls being like, Taylor, we want to buy your house. I'm like, well, I don't own my house, so you're gonna have to talk to somebody else about that, fam. Yeah. But never any alien phone calls, unfortunately. But this little tidbit of information might kind of switch up your thoughts on if you think what this could possibly be. Okay, so as the family, they're just sitting there kind of discussing everything that's gone on because they've all listened to the calls. Stephen, Gary's brother, he actually he recalls a memory that happened exactly a year previous. I was trying to say previously and earlier.
Okay.
Previously, he had came the year before, and his brother Stephen said that so this was actually right before Gary had gotten to town the year before. Stephen was driving and like on the highway, and he saw someone alongside him on the highway in a similar vehicle that Gary drove back in Texas, but it was in Long Island. So Stephen is seeing a very similar car. It looks like, I'm imagining like the same stickers, similar license plate, Texas license plate. Mm-hmm. So it looks like his car, right? And then Stephen drives by the guy and he looks inside the car and the man looked exactly like Gary, but almost as if Gary was making like a really weird face. Disgusting.
Wait, this is creepy. It's almost like, wait, why do I have a theory?
What's the theory?
That these aliens or this creature is trying to take his life in New York, and like that's why they keep asking like, when are you going back to Texas, so then they can go back to Texas. And he's like, I'm taking over your life here.
Oh, okay. I like that theory. I like that theory. I don't know. Listen, I like that theory. I'm going to tell you my theory here in a minute, but it's very similar to your theory. So, my theory is maybe less alien. I still think alien could be definitely a thing, but I'm thinking doppelganger.
Okay, but why is he calling?
You're right. Well, maybe because he's like, well, bro, I'm the Long Island Gary. You need to go back to freaking Texas.
So, same thing pretty much.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, similar, but just like, instead of aliens, it's like a person.
Yeah.
But like, a doppelganger isn't even a person. It's like an entity.
Yeah.
Too. So, essentially, same theory.
Yeah.
But I also agree, like, maybe the aliens are just trying to look human. Yeah. Appear human, and that's why their face is appearing like weird.
So I guess we do have the same theory, except mine is doppelganger alien version.
Yeah. Totally. But the reason that I'm kind of thinking doppelganger is the caller says that there will be double of you and that you are being impersonated by another voice. That was two things that they said.
Yeah.
So I'm like, and I'm like, okay, is one voice bad? Like, is it the same Gary, but he just like live somewhere else, or like is there a good and a bad version? I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, as if things need to get stranger, Savannah.
Oh no. Okay.
I kind of can confirm one of our theories. Okay. I just wanted to throw my doppelganger theory in there because I do actually believe that it's an alien situation.
Okay.
But I just wanted to say, like, the doppelganger and, like, the double stuff that they were saying.
Yeah.
Like, I think it might be a doppelganger alien.
Yeah.
So, anyway, Gary, after his family fun time trip that he has experienced here, he gets on a flight to go back to Texas. And he's walking through the airport when he is approached by a man with a clipboard who is asking him a bunch of questions.
Oh, no.
Gary assumes that this is just either some sort of salesman or somebody taking a census in the airport. So he just answered the questions and
he just answered.
Walks away. Yeah.
Oh, my God. Okay.
I mean, maybe I would just answer too. Like, I don't know. Airports are stressful.
Yeah.
And, like, if he looks like official, because, like, apparently he looked like official, like, had a clipboard, I would, like, I would maybe.
And it's like, if it's just, I guess if it seems harmless, like.
Exactly. Whatever. And, like, also, like, what if it's, like, security? Like, I'm going to be like, okay, well, my name's Taylor.
Okay, well, like, back in 1993, I
you're
don't
right.
think there's much security.
You're right. They don't care. You're right. I'm thinking of me now. But still, he was probably like, yeah, whatever. So, oh, no. I keep losing my spot because this story is just so long. Anyway. Okay, so whatever, him and the man, they went their separate ways, and then eventually Gary gets on the plane and into a seat, and a different man obviously sits beside him on the airplane, and which is just the worst feeling when you realize that somebody's sitting beside you, like when you're like, maybe there's a chance somebody won't sit beside me,
right? Yeah,
but unfortunately, so this man takes his seat in the middle seat, and like Gary's in the aisle. And the man who is sitting beside Gary pulls out a clipboard, just like the one the last man had. And he starts asking Gary the same questions.
Creepy. Mm-hmm. Did they not get the memo that he already answered them?
Right, but they're not the same questions. These are different questions. But we don't really know. Like, they seemed like more normal questions, but at this point, it's not normal because what? Yeah. Why are there two?
Yeah.
Right.
And so, also, why are you sitting right next to me?
Right.
Asking?
And why are you... Right. Like, it was fine with the first man, but now this is just like a whole nother thing. And Gary is responding the same way as we are. He's like, dude, what are you talking about? Leave me alone. And... Because if it was me, I would, quote unquote, go to the bathroom and get a flight attendant and be like, this man is harassing me. Please change his seat.
I know.
But... Before Gary even had to do that, actually, one of the flight attendants noticed. Okay. And went up to the man. And actually, they had found out that was not that man's assigned seat. Instead, it was for another man. So they were like, sir, this is not your seat. You have to get up. Because the other man who actually got the seat was like, that's mine. So that's interesting. Okay. But, unfortunately...
It's even creepier for him.
I'm saying.
Like, if you think about how, like, this man actually found me and asked me these questions. It wasn't just, like...
Yeah, it wasn't, like, random. Yeah, no. It's horrifying. It's absolutely horrifying. But, unfortunately, even though the man was not sitting beside him anymore, he only got moved one row back. Oh. And so he was, like, directly behind Gary on the flight. And so he's literally leaning and, like, poking him on the shoulder. Like, still trying to ask the questions, bro. And Gary... No. Like, Gary decides, he's like, you know what? I'm putting my headphones on. I'm putting my eye covers on. I'm taking a nap. And he does that. He takes a nap. He's somehow able to fall asleep. And when he wakes up, the clipboard man is gone. Nowhere to be seen. And...
How? They're on a plane.
Well, no, people were getting off.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Like, it wasn't like he just disappeared. Oh. Yeah, like, at this point, people were, like, getting off the plane. Yeah. So, but, guys, you cannot tell me that those people were not men/women in black, right? Like, the men in black. Yeah. Because, when you have an alien experience, people in fancy suits will approach you, typically with clipboards, asking you questions. And that's exactly what happened here. So, I personally think Gary
And
met up.
they also
Go ahead with the Men in Black.
They said something about government interference.
They did. They sure did. They sure did, and they sure knew. So, yeah, Gary, after that entire incident, he was clearly very shook up by all of this. And he was like living in a building with a bunch of people, and he actually told his landlord about it. And just to make sure, he was like, yo, I need you to like look after me, but also you should probably protect yourself too, because I don't know if like who these people are, if they're coming after me. Yeah. They know I live in Texas though, so like, yeah, he was just kind of making him aware of the situation, which that kind of makes me like believe Gary even more. Like, I don't know, but of course all of the skeptics say this has to be just a prank by someone. Mm-hmm. And the fact that like Gary's dad loved aliens so much, and that he gets his own alien story, like people are like, well, that's suspicious. I'm like, okay, well, a lot of people like aliens, especially from the 90s on, but okay. But the main fact that skeptics like point to is like the way that Gary was so quick to record these calls. I guess, but it's just a simple button back in the day, like on the answering machine, like the record button. And I'm like, if I had a weird call and there was a very easy button to press, I too would record it. Right. Like, yeah. I don't know. I just feel like,
yeah, I don't think that part's that suspicious.
People are just like, why were you so quick to doubt, like, and question these calls, like, that they were going to be attacking?
Okay, because it was from a random number, and, like, who are you asking me these questions?
Right, and why do you know stuff about me? Like, you know information about me. Yeah, it's weird. So, you know, to this day, these tapes, these calls, these conversations, they remain a mystery as to who they were talking to. Was it paranormal, alien? Was it all a hoax? We will probably never know. Gary Sudbrink is still alive, as far as I could tell. He lives a very, very private life. He doesn't want to talk about any of this, which also, you know, kind of proves more to the fact that I believe him that it's true.
Yeah, because you think, like, the people who rub it in your face and, like, talk about it all the time are, like... Yeah. They just want the attention.
Exactly, so and they, like, want to make money from it, but, like...
doesn't.
No, he doesn't.
It seems so much more believable.
It sure does. And there was a poll done on the old Twitter, on this, like, popular UFO page. And it was basically like, what do you think the answer is, like, as to these Gary Sudbrink tapes? And 48% voted for hoax. 34% voted for unknown but very strange. 9% voted government related, which we did not even, like, speak on. And 9% alien. So
only 9%.
Only 9%, yeah. Which I feel like would be a lot more. But I must say, for the people who, I mean, hoax for sure. For the people who think prank, this must be the best prank of all time, because nobody's came forward and been like, it was me.
Right, and I don't get...
I'm the pranker.
I don't get if it's a prank, because it's not even funny.
It's not funny. And if it's a hoax, like, I mean, okay, good story, but, like, what's it do for you? Like, nothing.
Exactly. Like,
I don't know. And it's not like, it's 1993. It's not like Reddit is over there popping, like, to make a fake story, like, no sleep, right, you know? Right. Like, I'm sure there were blogs and stuff like that, but, like, it wasn't that, it's not like it is today, where, like, you could just go viral by lying and telling a story on TikTok. Like, right. That happens all the time today, but not as much back then. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that is the mystery of the Gary Sudbrink tapes. And shout out again to A-Train for suggesting that, because that was
crazy. No,
I mean,
that's
a
crazy,
really
crazy
story.
Now I just need to know, like, did this happen to anyone else?
Like, I know, Gary. Gary, I'm so serious, Gary. Please, I won't bother you. Please talk. Please have a conversation with me.
Oh my god.
If it's fake, I won't even tell anybody. I just want to know.
I need to know.
Please email us, Gary.
No, and now all this, like, recent stuff about aliens.
Exactly.
And I'm just like, what were they trying to do?
I know. Like, what they wanted to save us. No.
Or something. I don't know. They're just randomly talking.
Or maybe they wanted to hurt us.
Random guy.
They were just like, let's communicate. I want to communicate with the aliens. Do you hear me? I want to communicate. Call me and I'll answer. but only if it's at 10:30 p.m. The telemarketers hear me through my phone and they start calling me at 10:30 p.m. Yeah. They better not. Well, anywho, definitely go check out our Instagram for pictures from our stories this week.
Yeah.
I don't want to see no freaking big spider. So,
well, you're gonna see.
Guess I'm gonna have to. Guess I'm gonna have to. But also go check out our YouTube and our TikTok. And please, if you don't mind, go rate and review us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. But if that's all you have, Savannah, that's really all I have for you guys this week.
Yep.
Okay, well then I guess we will see you guys next week.
Cue the music.